Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. We are from the last group of the debate English debate class 109, and in this moment we would like to record the performance, the debate simulator with the motion. This house would ban the advocacy and practice of faith-based healing, such as shamans, holy water, ruqyah, and etc. To start the performance, let us invite the first speaker of the affirmative team, Evelyn Theodora Siana.
Good morning, judges and audience. This is Evelyn, and I'm going to be speaking to you today about the government would ban an advocacy and practice of faith-based healing. Faith healing is a method of treating illness through faith rather than medical methods. Faith healing is usually practiced through prayers to gods and deities. All religions have their own faith healing practices. Believers in faith healing believe that the healing of disease and disability can be brought about by religious faith through prayer or other rituals that can stimulate a divine presence and power. Our goal is to prove that the effectiveness of faith healing using scientific inquiry is controversial, while there's no or limited evidence or therapeutic effectiveness of faith healing modalities such as prayer. Nevertheless, it is evident that a significant proportion of patients to resort to faith healing as a first choice in different cultures and also believe in its potency. Patients seek the service of faith healers of all kinds of ailments, including social and psychological issues. However, some faith healers, especially in dealing with specific health problems in emergency cases, refer patients to formal healthcare providers for treatment. Aside from reassurance of faith, concerns have been raised regarding for individuals who practice faith healing. Patients are often exposed to combination of herb remedies, chemical, holy water, and other assumed treatment substances which are often harmful, leading to physical problems. Ethnical concerns arising from faith healing, abuse of rights granted by religious and cultural identity laws, the right to reject medical treatment doing harm to oneself, belief in religious predestination, leaving no choice, social pressure in faith healing communities, and the last is absence of legal protection of parents whose children and die because of faith healing. I'm going to tell you of two examples in the dangers of faith healing. First, shamans have a tendency to rely on strength practice that excite but endanger lives. These healers often adopt and cultural practices of other groups and incorporate them into their religion. Often in this instance, modern medicine is forced to deal with these shamans out of social contrivance. Shaman trust spirit because the spirit choose the shaman able to bridge a messenger or voice for spirit. Most people react to negativity with the negativity which on prolongs the healing process and creates psychological and emotional damage. Second, holy water, which is known for its purpose cleansing properties, could actually be more harmful for our health than healing. Scientists have discovered that 69% of water sampled from holy source contain fecal matter, or Australian researchers also found that church ponds contain high levels of bacteria and that none of the Holy Spirit they studied could be considered safe for the drinking them. The researcher from the Institute of Hygiene and Applied Immunology at the Medical University of Vienna analyzed that the water in 21 holy springs in Australia and 18 found in Vienna at various times during the year. They found that every milliliter of holy water there were up to 62 million bacteria. They also found that the busier the church, the more bacteria it tended to have in its food. Medicine treatment is very well recommended for patients because they often need to converse with their physician and about significant health and care decisions. Modern medicine was built around the model of running tests on 6 patients to determine which drug and medical procedures would best deal with some illness. This means it saves time, whether in treatment or recovery, and resolve in the meantime. Faith healing practices based on belief and experience that pass on hereditary, the prognosis is slightly off since it's not targeting on a specific treatment, especially if the patient consumed was given that the suspension is not proper again that needed. Thus, faith healing, a practice in various new and old religious contexts, is nothing more than focused pre-modern superstition. It's because the faith, because health is the sum of belief and experience indigenous to this culture. It will be better, it will be recognized when society is trying to deal with the express particular concern about human disease and try to not through way. Modern medicine considered more effective since the approach and method they use more specific in diagnosing diseases and how to treat them. Modern medicine is also scientifically proven. Thank you.
Now we are moving to the first speaker of the opposition team, is me itself, and let's start the here is the speaker of the opposition team from the motion. This house would ban the advocacy and practice of faith-based healing, such as like shamans, holy water, ruqyah, etc. First of all, this speaker would respond to the definition that has been conveyed by the affirmative. It is true that the faith-based healing is a method of treating illness by praying to the God in many ways and rituals. Faith-based healing is based on the hope of divine presence of and power because of a belief and faith to the God. Faith-based healing is also the first choice for some patients, especially for those who have problems about social and psychological issues. However, the affirmative said that patients who doing the faith-based healing are often exposed to other medicinal substances that are considered harmful, leading to physical problems. On the other hand, medical treatment is highly recommended for patients because they often need to converse with their doctor about significant healthcare decisions. Based on the affirmative argument, this speaker would declare that the argument is not true. Patients who doing the faith-based healing are not always exposed to other medicinal substances, especially if the treatment substances are harmful to the physical problems. The practitioners of faith-based healing tend to be people who are really understand about religion and such much of life problems. If doctors provide treatment for physical problems, then the practitioners of faith-based healing strengthen the spirituality, especially in the social aspect and psychological. The patients who come also tend to have social and psychological problems because these two problems tend to be related to something that may be sensitive and perhaps sensitive and difficult to discuss with just anyone. So patients tend to do faith-based healing and consult it with the practitioners. Therefore, practitioners of faith-based healing will first discuss about the complaints and problems according to the patient's confession. Then the practitioners will provide the directions and also treatments ritual as a form of endeavor and also as a reminder and such some kind like reinforcements of spiritual belief in their religion. In the implementation of this statement ritual, it tends to use defined verses where every existing ritual and the results are returned to the God and the Almighty, because the God and the Almighty is the one who heals the human and their creation. In the Christianity, there is a verse that says, "Is anyone among you ill? Let him send for the rulers of the church, and let them say prayers over him, putting oil on him in the name of the Lord." Jacobus 5:14. Such as in Christianity, in Islam, there is a verse that there is a holy verse too uh, that conveyed by Ustad Khalid Basalamah. Ustad Khalid Basalamah revealed the procedure for one of the faith-based healing methods, uh, the correct ruqyah. He mentioned that there are 6 basic verses of ruqyah, such as Al-Fatihah, Ayat Kursi, Al-Kafirun, An-Nas, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and each of them read 3 times. Blowing into the palm of the hand every time it is read, after being read, then rubbed into the palms of the hands, then rubbed from the head to the feet with the intention of protecting oneself from Satan's interference in the name of Allah. Based on the Ustad's statement and also the holy verses in Christian books, it can be seen that there are no rituals or treatment methods that leads to and can cause physical problems. So the patients who doing the faith-based healing are not always exposed to other medicinal substances, especially if the treatment substances are harmful to the physical problems. Therefore, the house should not ban the advocacy and practice of faith-based healing, such as like shamans, holy water, ruqyah, etc. Thank you. And now we will move to the second speaker of the affirmative team, Syam Ramadhani.
Okay, my name is Syam Ramadhani, and in here I will be the second affirmative team. Well, in my statement that the holy water can be used to cleanse evil spirits is actually very ineffective. In fact, the action taken can lead to shirk and envy. Even those actions can lead to criminal acts in society, especially among those in rural and urban areas. And it is said that holy water can cure some disease. It was proven wrong because there is no scientific evidence or logical thinking of the action. The reason why I choose this statement is it because the concept of the holy water that can drive away evil spirit and cure some disease is very unreasonable. Also, there is no scientific explanation for this action, and it is a shared belief and a big sin if some people also do it. If your body feels bad or sick, you should go to the hospital to check the symptoms of the disease to the doctor. Then the doctor concludes about your illness, then you buy medicine according to the doctor prescription, and you will recover a few days later. It's the same as being possessed or being disturbed by a jinn or evil spirit. So as a human being who obeys God and religion, it is better to receive in their respective beliefs or not asking for help from religious leaders who are truly obedient to the religion, so that there is a way out to treat disorder of jinn or evil spirit. And if the trace is a brain disease that is still large, then you have to go to the hospital and ask the doctor to cure brain disease with drugs prescribed by the doctor. The evidence that holy water can trigger criminal act is according to the news in Swara.com. There are shamans who use holy waters mixed with the flowers and the lure of expelling evil spirit, which leads to sexual abuse. A man with initial J, alias Abawe, who claims to be a traditional healer in Bandung, is suspected of sexual harassing two underage girls. The shaman, who used the mode of curing the trance using holy water mixed with jasmine, and the victim is now in prison at the Bandung police. Bandung Police Chief Kombes Pol Kusworo Wibowo said the arrest stemmed from a report from the victim family since January 2002. It is suspected that Abawe molested two girls aged 14 and 15 by holding a sensitive parts of the victim's body with the excuse of expelling evil spirit in that area. Besides healing from a trance, Kuswara said that the preparator also claimed to be able to help his victim to treat internal ailments with his holy water. However, according to him, sexual abuse is still carried out in the same way, although it was only known that there were two victims. According to him, the police suspected that there were a number of other victims. He also asked the public to report if anyone felt that his family had been a victim of the absent shaman, the second proof that holy water can treat COVID-19 is a lie. Quoted from Kompas.com, when confirmed the coordinator of the COVID-19 response team at Gajah Mada University, Dr. Riris Andono Ahmad, explained that information that said that drinking holy water was a cure for COVID-19 was incorrect information. Meanwhile, the spokesman for the COVID-19 task force at the 11 Maret University Hospital, Dr. Tonang Dwi Ardianto, also explained that information about holy water that can be used for COVID-19 medicine because it can improve blood circulation is also not true. So the first conclusion from the evidence of the argument about that belief that holy water can cure trance is not true, because this action will lead to immoral acts and shirk. The second conclusion that holy water can cure COVID-19 and can improve blood circulation is a lie, because it does not a scientific evidence that says or show the final result that the disease cannot be cured in such way. Then the final conclusion is that belief in an object, especially in a liquid object, can mislead the human and make the human mindset be damaged. And little by little, the impact will have impact on the wider community with lasting effect. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And now we are moving to the second speaker of the opposition team, Rizky Fajar.
My name is Rizky Fajar. As the second speaker opposition team, here I will oppose the statement of the second affirmative team. I object to the statement from Sham. But again, to the belief of the person, if that person believes it, it's not the problem, especially if the practice has been passed down from generation to generation in that person's environment. And what about what has become a culture in an environment or religion? For example, such as the commemoration of Vesak Day using holy water. It cannot be abolished, and if it is prohibited, there will be conflict in religion. I state this because if the use of holy water is prohibited, it will cause new problems such as conflict in religion, which can be in the form of changes the rules in religion ceremonies because of the prohibition of the use of holy water. As proof that the use of holy water is still used as a religious culture, there is in 2022 Vesak commemoration in Temanggung. The collection of holy water took place at Umbul Jumprit, Temanggung Regency, representing the Director General of Buddhist Guidance. Tri Rosso said the taking of holy water, which is held every time to welcome the Vesak celebration, has a deep meaning for Buddhists in Indonesia. In Buddhism, of course, we welcome the Vesak celebration by harmonizing nature and water, which are the source of life, cleanliness, and a symbol of humility and tranquility in life, said Tri Rosa after the processing of taking holy water at Umbul Jumprit. I conclude from the statement above that the statement from Sham will only cause conflict in a culture, a community that still uses holy water, or in a religion. Uh, from my argument to this motion is the status quo is fine. So there is no need to push more. Modern medicine is quite accepted even by people who practice faith-based healing. Every individual has the right for himself to decide what is best for his life. Sustainability of choice is not a good parameter, as some feel, um, as if they cannot live with themselves if they do not continue with certain choices, and usually faith-based choices shape the whole life. Practices mainly occur in indigenous peoples, especially since they existed long before modern medicine penetrated the community. Their way of life has been greatly encroached on from the past. In other words, it is not the right of the government to further restrict a group of people who have been their victim in the past. The biggest casualties in this motion literally no access to modern medicine. People who have been using this practice for generations cannot be blamed. If the government blame it, then the government must be aware from the start why they did not explore it from the start. An example of this medical practice that is still happening is in Nagari village, Sungai Duo, Dharmasraya Regency, West Sumatra, where many people still seek treatment at traditional healers. The culture and traditions of the people in this region are still strong. In fact, in that village, there was someone who was named a village shaman. According to data obtained by the Healthy Dharmasraya Forum, a forum fostered by the Health Service and Bapeda, 40% of the people still seek treatment at traditional healer. This is due to inadequate puskesmas and hospital facilities. I conclude from the argument I made earlier against this motion that there is no need to let someone make that choice for themselves. Given this, a possible alternative is not to stop the practice, but to continue it in secret. Thanks. That's all for me.
Now we are going to the end of the meeting debate simulator, and there is all from our group. Thank you very much.